October 20th, 1939. This week, the war rapidly intensifies in the Baltics as Sweden decides to help out their Baltic brothers. Help out for once and help. They now start helping Latvia and Lithuania's remaining armies that have now died out, both fled into Latvia, fled into Courland. So now Sweden joined on the 3rd. Now Sweden officially joined on the 11th. But it is on the 13th that they started sending troops. As a result, the forces in Courland were not able to be fully wiped out, but they also weren't able to get out. Hence it became just a stalemate, but then again, their front line did keep on moving. Slowly but surely, the Russians managed to kick Latvia out of the war. Lithuania had already surrendered by now on the 14th. And with Latvia's last forces being commanded by Sweden, the Russians managed to capture the town of Narva in Estonia. Estonia had a little bit of a problem on its hands. It was that as they didn't help their allies weren't willing to help them. But then again, if they did help Estonia, they might have a chance of survival. And also, Sweden was willing to help Estonia. But Sweden just wasn't enough to save Estonia, as they captured Tallinn. All three were brought to the negotiating table. And Sweden would get off just fine, but the other Baltic brothers, well, I should say it didn't end too good for them. And it was now that they officially annexed their half of Poland. And Lithuania and Latvia, but not Estonia yet. For some reason they just didn't want to annex Estonia yet. Just yet. But then again, they did it. Eventually, out of fear that they might just revolt. Obviously, with Russia being pretty strong, and let's see what's happening in the Winter War. It's not going too good for Finland. It's just not going too good. The Finnish capital had been put in the largest siege of the war. Meanwhile, in the north, things are starting to turn around. The Finnish armies actually got a few victories for once. They managed to push the Russians back into the center of their country. And they even managed to regain the ability to go on the offensive. In the far north, Finland was making gains. On the south, they were losing ground steadily. Because this week, Helsinki would fall by October 16th. They had already begun to lose enough ground. By now, Helsinki had run out of supplies. And with that, the soldiers were evacuated from the capital. And with that, Finland kind of just gave up kind of just gave up the war. I mean, after all, it wasn't really worth it. Hence, Finland agrees to give Russia their lands in the south, but on the north. No. In the north, that was too far. Hence, the Russians were granted some land in the south. So at the end of the war, Finland would lose a pretty big amount of land. But then again, Finland did remain an independent nation. And, that's what was kind of worth it. Finland to at least be independent. Obviously, Finland had a pretty strong army. Hold on, what? Okay. And as those years, it's at that point that Germany really kicked up their invasion of France a little bit. And hence, the Germans continued their invasion of Belgium. But the Belgians are ready, the Germans aren't. Hence, the Germans are forced to try to pretty much stall out the Belgian armies. But it is a grind. Just as the Western Front began to heat up, the French army decided to fall back into France. And with this, the Belgian forces had been cut off. And that was not going to help them in the following days. Because by October 20th, Belgium had lost a large sector of its land. And now the Germans were attempting to surround Brussels. And that could not happen. That could not have happened so soon. At least the Germans didn't reach the channel yet. They still had hope. Well, that's it for this week. Here's the bye.